Ciao Bella, welcome to Bella Uncinetto. I'm Christina and I'm so glad that you're here with me today. If you're new, welcome in. If you're returning, welcome back. No matter how long you've been here, I always appreciate your time. We are going to read a book today in the Reading with Bella series. And what I like to do here is find books that deal with fiber arts and share them with you. So a lot of these are children's books, and I do sometimes go on a deep dive looking for things, but I managed to find this one. Now, Lulu and Lainey, there are several Lulu and Lainey books, and I am on the hunt to get some of these. One of the most elusive ones, one of the hardest ones to find for me has been Lulu, Lainey, and A Christmas Yarn. So if you can find one of those that doesn't cost 20 something dollars, let me know. I'm not asking you to buy it for me. I'm just saying, send me the link and I'll get it. But every time I look for it, it cannot ship to where I live, and it costs anywhere from $18 to $30. So um, I would love to share it with you, but I'd like to not spend the cost of 3 or 4 books on one. All right, so we're going to get started with this book, Lulu and Lainey, A French Yarn. Lulu loved to knit. She especially loved to knit with her grandmere. They spent many happy hours together making hats and scarves to keep warm against the winds coming across the River Seine during cold Paris winters. But this was a Saturday in springtime. The weather was beautiful with the lovely fragrance of flowers and fresh baked bread on warm breezes. The trees were in bloom, sometimes sending little petals floating down, which looked like colorful snow on the ground. Lulu was happy as she walked through the park to Grandmere's apartment. She had her favorite ball of fuzzy green yarn with her. She called the yarn Lainey, like the French word for wool. She planned to use it to make a special scarf with Grandmere. Lulu saw her friends, Pierre and Noemi, playing soccer in the park. Lulu, come play with us, they called. She dropped her knitting basket under a tree. Just for a few minutes, I'm going to knit with my grandmare, she called as she ran to kick the soccer ball. Soon Lulu realized she was going to be late. She grabbed the handle of her knitting basket and ran off. When she arrived at Grandmare's apartment, Lulu saw that her favorite yarn was not in her knitting basket. I must go back to the park, she said, with tears in her eyes. Lulu ran back to the park and looked under the tree. But Lainey was not there. Lulu returned to Grandmare's apartment and sadly shared the unhappy news. She wondered if she would ever see the ball of yarn again. Grandmere comforted her while they drank strawberry tea and ate biscuits. Here's what happened. When Lulu ran off with her knitting basket, Lainey fell out and rolled under a bush. A mother bird looking for worms hopped by and saw Lainey. She had 2 eggs in her nest in a tree, but Lainey looked like another egg to her. She got hold of Lainey and carried her up into the tree. Lainey dropped into the nest where 2 beautiful green eggs were resting. The mother bird sat on all of them, keeping them warm and cozy. Then one day, there were sounds coming from inside the eggs, like tapping on a door. Before she knew it, a baby bird hatched out of each egg. The baby birds grew and grew. When the mother bird flew off to find food, they would huddle close to Lainey for warmth. Aww. Spring turned into summer, and as the days began to shorten, the mother bird knew it was time to teach her babies to fly. One morning, both baby birds flew off, knocking Lainey out of the nest. And down, down, down. Lainey landed under the tree, right into Lulu's knitting basket. The birds flew around, waving a fond farewell to their fuzzy friend. Lulu was once again in the park playing soccer with friends on her way to Grandmere's house, and once again her knitting basket was under the tree. When Lulu came back to get the basket, she saw Lainey and let out a great cheer. "Lainey, where have you been? How did you get into my basket? Did you have an adventure? Where did those feathers come from?" And indeed, there were fluffy feathers sticking out of the strands of the yarn, just like a little bonnet. Lulu continued to Grandmare's house with Lainey safe in her knitting basket. They had a wonderful time knitting, while trying to guess where Lainey had been all this time. The end. So, I hope you have enjoyed Lulu and Lainey, a French yarn with me. And I would love to know what books about yarn or fiber arts that you may have. Put that in the comments below and I will look them up and see if I can get them where I am. And maybe I'll share those with you as well. As always, be well, be safe, and be the change you wish to see in the world, everyone. Ciao bella!